again, as I said before, you need to work from larger to smaller. Now sometimes doing that isn't as easy as it sounds because you have to measure things in relationship to each other. One of the things we do is we use a very simple device as our ruler. It's our pencil. Now, when you're first looking at an object and you want to get some sense of its proportion, you go ahead and you hold your pencil up vertically, like this. Now, by using your thumb as a baseline, you will look at an object. For example, if I were to look at this mannequin, and I were to look at it like this using the pencil, I know that it's a certain part of the pencil high, and I'll go ahead and make marks representing that. Now, what you want to do is try to hold the pencil out at arm's length, just like in the drawing there, and sight along the pencil, comparing the size of the pencil with the object. Now, after you've established what your height is, you want to decide what the width is. So then you go ahead and you take the pencil, you turn it sideways, and you do the same thing looking at the width of the object, and you'll mark that on your paper. Now, your object may have some complex curves and angles to it, so what you would do is, by holding up on the vertical or the horizontal, show yourself where those curves fall. How deep of an angle is that? What is this space from the object here to the pencil here? You can also then break down an object into proportion. You know that the object, when you sit to draw it, is only so high. Now you want to find out what, in the example you have there, essentially the top of the vase is, how much that is. So you've measured that in relationship to the whole. Now you can start filling in the other things. You've got a rough guideline. You've measured out. True, it's not exactly architectural, but it's good enough so that you see how the pieces relate to each other. Another thing to keep in mind is how you hold the pencil. Holding a pencil, there are two ways to do it. If you're working large, or you want to get a sense of the feel of something, hold it like this, using your thumb and your forefinger, like this. You then can work very loosely, and it gives you a sense, a feel for the object. What you're doing is you're not just drawing with your hand, you're drawing with your whole arm. You're getting some freedom, some fluidity, some real sense of the shape, attitude of the object. This is excellent for when you're doing layout, when you're working in other medium like charcoal or pastel, when you're working large. It seems unnatural at first, but if you work with it, you'll find that it's very comfortable and is also very liberating. Now, the other mode of drawing is the one that most of you are familiar with, the standard writing grip. Except that when you do it, you don't want to hold it down near the base of the lead like you do when you're writing. You want to try to hold it a little looser. But what you're doing is getting control. It's still a good idea to use your arm when you're doing this. By using your whole arm, by using your whole body, you get more a sense of the object's attitude, its tension, whether it's relaxed, whether it's tense, whether it's flowing, whether it's bent, curved. You keep it loose. And you can still get some fluidity even with this pencil grip. But the nice thing about this is that you can then go in and start drawing detail with some control. Now, as an animator, you'll find that because you're working in a fairly small piece of paper, usually about that size, you don't have a lot of room to be doing that kind of drawing, except when you're first laying out things, when you're first trying to capture feel. And when we get into gesture drawing, we'll talk about that looseness, that capturing the feeling. But you will end up doing an awful lot of detail drawing where you need to have control using this standard writing grip. Now, all of these techniques that I've been talking about are things that are going to have to become habit. Using your pencil as a ruler, learning how to hold the pencil, how to relate to the paper. Also, you're going to have to take the time, teach yourself how to look. Most of the mistakes you're going to make when you start a drawing are in those first 30 seconds or so when you first start looking at the page and the object, trying to figure out how you're going to transfer one to the other. If you don't take the time to do that properly, your drawing's already messed up. So take that time. Take the time to analyze and to get a sense of what it is you're drawing, what you're trying to achieve, before you even start to draw. In time, these techniques, these guides, these rules should become second nature. But they can only do that if you keep working at it. So I recommend that every chance you get, try to get out your sketchbook and do these things. If you're sitting at a coffee shop, sitting in the cafeteria, just take out the pencil and the sketchbook and just look at an object. Just choose an object in your point of view and start to break it down. If you do that enough times, you start getting a sense of what you're trying to achieve, that you're reaching for a wholeness, that you're trying to see around an object, not just see it as a flat, two-dimensional line of pencil marks. Next time, we're going to talk about shape and form and how shape and form, line, not only help you build an object from the ground up, but also help you see it from any angle. How you'll be able to look at an object and know what that object's going to look like if you walk around it to the other side, turn it around. You'll start learning how to use your imagination because you'll be able to know what an object does and how it represents mass and volume. That'll be in the next lecture. For now, I want you to keep on drawing. Thank you.